There are many ideas of what William Shakespeare looks like, but many are simply guesses or false leadings. However, of these guesses, there are some ideas that are considered to be the most accurate, namely art that was created back when Shakespeare was still alive. Even of this, there are many copies, so finding the original paintings and art of this great playwright are very difficult to come by. There are many paintings today that are suspected to be the original portrait of Shakespeare done during his lifetime. The Cobb family in Dublin, Ireland, is widely thought to own an original portrait of William Shakespeare. The Cobbs have possessed the painting since the early 1700s, but they didn't even know that their painting was of Shakespeare until 2006, when Alec Cobb recognized a painting by Cornelius Janssen at a Shakespeare exhibit in the Portrait Gallery in London. Because Janssen's Shakespeare portrait looked similar to the Cobb family painting, Alec Cobb took his painting to the National Portrait Gallery for 2 days of visual examination. Since then, Cobb has arranged for numerous tests to be performed on the family painting to check its authenticity. There are several other paintings considered to be the original portrait of Shakespeare. For instance, the Flowers painting, owned by the Royal Shakespeare Company, is widely thought to be a 19th century forgery. The possible William Shakespeare paintings can be analyzed in several different ways to help figure out if the paintings are real or not. Comparative analysis is a way of making sure that the acclaimed author actually made the painting by looking at his or her trademark or signature. The analysis also includes comparing the painting and frame styles to the styles of the suspected artist and his contemporaries. These tests do not assure completely that the painting is genuine, but they are effective ways of weeding out obvious fakes or copies of the painting. So how do we know when the supposed Shakespeare portraits were painted? Well, radiocarbon dating is a process of using carbon-14 to date the approximate age of paintings. Scientists can measure the amount of this carbon isotope in numerous organisms and materials, like paintings, and then judge its age based on the half-life of carbon-14 as it transforms back into a stable carbon isotope. Radiocarbon and other microscope and photograph dating tests show that the Cobb painting would be old enough to be the actual portrait of Shakespeare. It is also vital that the portrait's frame is studied to see if its makeup is similar to other 16th and 17th century frames. Numerous other tests, including wood ring dating, X-ray examination, and worm and nail hole examination, all date the wood frame of the Cobb portrait to be about 1610, 6 years before Shakespeare died. Because most of the other supposed paintings of Shakespeare were done after he died, the Cobb painting has extra credibility because it dates back to during his lifetime, leading us to believe that other portraits are copies of the original or fakes. Research shows that the Cobb family had special historical connections to Shakespeare's main financial patron, the 3rd Earl of Southampton. The Cobb family has passed down both a painting of a probable Shakespeare and a portrait of his main patron. Some historians believe that the Cobbs had a cousin who married the great-grandmother of the Earl of Southampton. Because this patron's portrait was passed down with his probable relatives, the Cobb family, this provides more evidence for the Shakespeare painting's authenticity. Art experts claim that the Cobb painting is the original portrait of William Shakespeare. In Washington, the Folger Shakespeare Library's Art and Special Collections curator, Aaron Blake, has confirmed that the Folgers Library portrait is based on the Cobb painting. Paul Edmondson, the Shakespeare Birthplace Trust's Director of Learning, said the following about the Cobb portrait. What makes it so important is that it's a portrait of William Shakespeare made during his lifetime. We think it was painted in 1610, and several copies of it were made early on, including the engraving. We're 90% sure it's Shakespeare. You'll never be entirely certain. When in doubt, just go with the option that has the most evidence to support its credibility. In this case, the Cobb painting currently stands above others as the most probable true Shakespeare portrait done during his lifetime.